What is the best anime to recommend somebody who has never watched anime before? Well, Michael B. Jordan was asked this very same question. Let's see what he had to say.
Tell me though, if you're a total layman, you've never seen anything, you've never seen, Neon Genesis, Evangelion, you've not seen a thing. What are your go-to, here's where you start suggestions?
One Piece, Dragon Ball,
Okay.
Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter. That's a pretty good starting 5.
Now let's be honest, that 5 is actually solid. It might be one of the greatest 5 when you're talking about being involved in the anime community conversations. You're talking about some of the most popular shonen series of all time, hands down. But are these great anime to start with? Are these great anime to recommend somebody who doesn't even know how to spell anime? You know what we gotta do. We gotta dissect these one by one, see if they pass the cut or not, and then I'm actually gonna give you guys my recommendations after that. Let's get into it. First up, we got One Piece, man. Speaking directly to Michael B. Jordan, this is a great pick right here. This is obviously one of my favorite anime of all time. I love One Piece. It's a great adventure story, but there's one small issue with recommending One Piece to somebody who has never heard of anime before. Now, you have to know which type of friend, which type of person you are recommending a series to. If you are recommending your series to somebody that does not show up, that texts you that they're going to be somewhere at 5 o'clock, and then when it's 4:45, they're texting you saying they can't make it, One Piece is not the series for them. One Piece is a commitment. It's a journey. When you're watching a series like One Piece, you have to realize that it is a slow burner in the beginning. You are not supposed to be watching Romance Dawn and trying to compare it to what's going on Roof Piece in Wano right now. One Piece is an adventure story. There's build up. You are watching Monkey D. Luffy literally build his Straw Hat crew from the ground up. Then there's also over 1,000 different characters. Many of these characters have important backstories, and if they don't initially, Oda will try to bring them back into the story later on, maybe hundreds of chapters down the line. There's no way you can recommend One Piece to somebody that hasn't watched anime before, unless they are somebody that will commit. And in this day and age where instant gratification is at an all-time high, I don't see One Piece being my go-to to recommend. Even though it's my favorite anime of all time, I wouldn't recommend it because I know a lot of people are gonna be watching One Piece and they're gonna look at Romance Dawn and try to say, well, Romance Dawn wasn't great, so I guess I'm not going to like Marineford. I guess I'm not gonna like Wano. I guess I'm not gonna like Whole Cake. And this is why when it comes to a series like One Piece, they have to already have been introduced to anime before they can even tap into it. Michael B. Jordan's second choice was Dragon Ball. Now I'm actually shocked at the amount of people that had an issue with this take. Not only was Dragon Ball one of the biggest anime that actually introduced people to go further into finding other anime, but Dragon Ball Z is literally one of the founding fathers of popularizing the shonen genre. I could not see for the life of me why people would not want to recommend Dragon Ball Z to somebody that has never heard of anime before, because majority of anime fans, especially in the West, were introduced to anime through Dragon Ball. Now I know people will say, well, Rob, it's because of nostalgia that people still watch Dragon Ball. We're not really invested in the story as much anymore because there's more intricate stories, there's better plot lines out there. But that's why it's perfect in my opinion. There are various different stories out there with super intricate plot lines, and you have even a very intense power system. When we're talking about series like Jujutsu Kaisen, for instance, these are series that are very hard to get into if you are not introduced to anime already. It's a lot to handle initially, especially in the first seasons. But when you're talking about a series like Dragon Ball, simplicity is perfect in this scenario. The power system's easy to understand. There's not a million different characters that you have to remember. Goku is a simple protagonist. It's perfect. Dragon Ball is easy to get into. And not only that, you will be entering one of the biggest fandoms in anime history. The Dragon Ball Z fandom is so large that there are Dragon Ball Z conventions. You have anime conventions, and then you have Dragon Ball Z themed conventions only dedicated to Dragon Ball Z content. That's how impactful Dragon Ball Z is. That's how large the fandom is. At number 3, Michael B. Jordan actually went with Naruto. Now, I really am conflicted with this pick. In terms of popularity, Naruto is neck and neck with Dragon Ball Z. It's a fantastic series. It's obviously one of the most popular shonen of all time. You can find similarities in between Naruto and Sasuke and Goku and Vegeta, so you know there was some inspiration involved there. The fight scenes are fantastic. The storyline's very easy to follow. But the main reason why I may hold off on recommending Naruto is that you're looking at a Shippuden and even a Boruto being completely different from Naruto Part 1. Now, many of you guys may not see a problem with this, but I do. For recommending somebody a first anime. There are many people out there that had issues with how Shippuden ended, with Kaguya coming out and being the main villain instead of Madara. There's people who had issues with Boruto, which is a continuation of the series, Boruto being Naruto's son. So when you are introducing somebody into watching anime, you do not want to give them a series where they may have issues with the sequels. Now, them having issues with arcs are different, but Naruto is definitely riddled with some filler, and part 1 and Shippuden have completely different tones. Part 1 is a lot more joyous and playful, but when you're looking at Shippuden, it is very, very dark. It's still great. I love Naruto, but again, as a first series to recommend somebody, I don't know if it's the perfect pick. Granted, I will say this, Naruto was the next step after Dragon Ball Z. When it comes to Dragon Ball going into Dragon Ball Z, it was a beautiful transition. Now, Super is probably the only issue that you can bring up. But in regards to Naruto, many people had issues with Shippuden, many people had issues with Boruto. I don't know if it's perfect. At number 4, Michael B. Jordan went with Bleach. Just for right now, I'm gonna say no. The main problem with Bleach is that it is riddled with filler. And again, in today's day and age, when you're looking at Naruto and even a Bleach, having that much filler early on for a first-time viewer is not ideal. It was able to work back in the day because more long-running shonen were promoted, but now it is seasonal anime with very long breaks in between. This is what the culture is now. So if we're looking at the tone shift of the anime industry and seeing that people are focusing more on animation and seasonal episodes, you're seeing even Bleach follow suit. The 1,000-Year Blood War arc, even though it is beautifully animated, it is not following what Bleach Part 1 did. It is not following what the Arrancar arc did with the long-running shonen with fillers thrown in there. It's not following that method. It's following the new seasonal method that the My Hero Academias of the world and the Demon Slayers of the world are following. Ichigo is one of the most popular anime protagonists out there. It's a great series to get into. The fights are beautiful, the story writing is unbelievable, but then again, the filler in it is not going to stick with a first-time anime viewer. It's not gonna happen. At number 5, Michael B. Jordan recommended Hunter x Hunter, which is honestly not a horrible pick. Hunter x Hunter is one of the greatest series that I've ever seen in shonen. I think the story writing is unbelievable. The power system, although it is very intricate, the story in the beginning is very easy to follow. But personally, for me, I would not recommend a Hunter x Hunter. And the only reason why I would not recommend a Hunter x Hunter is because it is hiatus x hiatus. That's why. I can't recommend my first time viewer a series that has not been completed. They would have questions on what's going on, and I would have to tell them that, you know, sometimes series don't finish. You will have trust issues if you watch Hunter x Hunter first out of all anime. That's a fact. And I don't want to be the one to give you those trust issues. Still, I believe Hunter x Hunter is amazing. So this is a great pick for Michael B. Jordan to have in his top 5, but I'm not recommending it to a first-time anime viewer at all. When it comes to introducing somebody to anime who has never heard of anime before, these are my 5. Number 1, I'm going with Death Note. I believe Death Note is a perfect starter for anybody who has never heard of anime before, because you're talking about the beautiful rivalry between Light Yagami and L Ryozaki. It's perfect because there's not many episodes, there's a beginning and an end, and I know some people may talk about, well, they didn't like the near and mellow part, but at the end of the day, Death Note still gets the job done when you're talking about entertaining the viewer, keeping them engaged, and it's super popular to a point that it was even given its own live action that was horrible, but it's that powerful, it's that popular, people know about it. Light and L had one of the best rivalries in all of anime, so just recommending this as a first time anime is perfect, and it has a great English dub and sub, so you can recommend it to anybody. At number 2, I'm going with One Punch Man. Now let's make one thing clear. Hero stories have always been popular, proven by the test of time. One Punch Man is perfect. You have a main protagonist in Saitama who's very funny, but very, very simplistic. You don't have to think about anything too much. You could just watch the show, have fun, see some cool fights, and then you can get into some more hardcore series later on. It's perfect as an entry-level anime. The One Punch Man series is getting better story-wise later down the line. Now, I know some people may say, well, the season 2 animation didn't live up to season 1's. It's not the end of the world. Season 2 was still done pretty well, and listen, the story is picking up more and more each season, and we know those fight scenes are going to keep viewers engaged immediately. Saitama vs. Boros is still one of the most beautifully animated fights that we've seen in a very, very long time. But if you guys don't agree with that, well, I'm bringing in One Punch Man's cousin. Mob Psycho 100 is another perfect pick. Mob is not a character that you really need to unpack seriously early on because he's very simplistic as well to a Saitama. Obviously, you know there's more to him later on in the series, but let the first time viewer figure that out. The reason why Mob Psycho 100 is a perfect starter pick has nothing to do with the fact that the fight scenes are incredible or that the music is amazing. It has to do with the fact that the writing is so easy to just go into it. You don't have to think about anything crazy. You just watch Mob tackling everything day by day with Reagan. Nothing crazy, nothing insane, and then it picks up each season, and the payout with Mob Psycho 100's ending is fantastic. The series doesn't have too many episodes, so somebody that's short on time can still get Mob Psycho 100 clean all the way through. Next up, I actually went with Demon Slayer. Now, I know a lot of people may be shocked by this pick, but Demon Slayer is the most popular new gen anime out right now. The animation is so captivating that it is pulling new fans from all around the world. It literally has become the new starter anime. It is dropping anime canon movies in theaters, anime canon episodes in theaters. It's really changing the game. Again, I believe simplicity is key when you're talking about recommending somebody anime for the first time. Newer viewers need something simple just to get their feet wet, just to get them acclimated to how anime works, specifically how shonen anime works. And then after that, then you can branch out. Shonen is the best genre to recommend because almost all anime fans around the world have been introduced to anime through shonen. But with Michael B. Jordan's top 5, I don't think that all those series will really work out except for maybe a Dragon Ball, but Demon Slayer gets the job done. And last but not least, I recommend Attack on Titan. AOT is a perfect pick to recommend somebody. Now, we do know that the final season is being broken up into multiple different parts. People have their own issues about that, but we cannot lie. Attack on Titan has one of the greatest first seasons for any anime out there. It is perfect to get somebody into the series. If you're talking to somebody that loves more intense stories, Attack on Titan is the way to go. And the story writing is so unbelievable that you're still having Attack on Titan fans to this day struggling on whether to team up with Eren or go against Eren. We don't know if Eren is a villain or a hero. We don't know which side to pick anymore. And then from there, with the ending of AOT coming very, very soon, you can then branch them out to other anime. I believe Attack on Titan, especially at the time it came out, was one of the biggest starter anime for many, many people out there worldwide. Now, is my personal starting top 5 perfect? No, because it really depends on the person. You really have to know who you're talking to when you're trying to recommend an anime. If somebody is really into sports, then I would not recommend any of these anime. I'll probably be talking about either Blue Lock or Kuroko, or maybe even a Hajime no Ippo, which happens to be one of my favorite sports anime. But then again, recommending these top tier shonen still is very, very perfect because if you watch any of these 5 series that I've recommended, you are going to end up tapping into Michael B. Jordan's top 5. It's gonna happen very, very soon. That's how iconic Michael B. Jordan's top 5 are. I just don't know if they are perfect to start with. Now, you guys let me know down in the comment section below. Do you like my top 5 or do you like Michael B. Jordan's top 5 better? Or what is your top 5 to start with anime? And with that, I'll see you guys next time.